everybody, welcome back. Oh my gosh, this is Mandy and welcome to my channel, Carnelian Spirituality and Tarot. I used to do an above setup where you could see my hands of cards, but I don't have that when I do late night readings. So you get fireside chat with me, Mandy, chimney sweep, this way. So hopefully you don't mind seeing my face. Never mind, I'll find somebody like you. That you'd see my face and that you'd be reminded that for me, it isn't over. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. Maybe that'll pertain. Maybe that'll pertain. I don't know. So as I was getting my cards out, I don't even know what I said yet. Okay, so this is a Firefly reading. It's a general reading, so it may not resonate for everybody. I'm just gonna pull a reading, and whatever comes out is what comes out. I have no control over it. It's just the way I'll shuffle. And as I was meditating, what came out, or what I heard, was wasted time. And I immediately thought of scrolling, or where we're stuck in kind of escapism, numbness. I'm not pursuing my dreams. I'm wasting time. Which I just channeled Blowing Smoke by Casey Musgraves, where it's kind of I think that's a song, my friend Karen actually is in the video, is a song about a bunch of waitresses who are talking about they're going to get out of waitressing, but they're all just blowing smoke. It's not actually ever going to happen. So are we blowing smoke? Now I'm really intrigued how any of those things pertain to this reading. Maybe they won't. But this is a general reading, so it may not resonate for everybody. Just whatever comes out, comes out. And yeah, I think that's it. Okay. All right, you guys. Spirit, what is going on? What is this reading about? What do you want to say? Okay, we've got animals and well-being. So definitely taking a time out to take care of ourselves, our health and wellness, mental health. I'm getting a lot of mental health here, because animals are such healers, and animals are such little divine creatures when we're sad, when we're lonely, when we're having a moment. My cat will always come up and try and sit on my face and show me that it loves me. So you might have a really strong bond with your pet right now. Your pet might be trying to speak to you. Also, you might be having dreams about animals, or if you see continuing animals in your day-to-day activity, crows, cardinals, spiders, look up the spiritual meaning of those, because that is how spirit communicates with us sometimes. Well-being, spirit, what else? Well-being. Compassion. Compassion for ourselves and others. Lighten your load. So what I'm getting here is we are being burdened by something that is taking our time. The thoughts, the rumination, the obsession, the addiction to something. A need to change, a need to have answers, a need for clarity, a need for a situation to resolve itself, a need for a lot of different things. But all of that mental anguish tends to hurt our well-being, our mental health, our spiritual health, psychological, physical health, all of the healths. And that's why animals are so important to help heal us during this time. And compassion for ourselves and others. I feel for some of us, there are situations where we need to forgive people, where we need to be forgiven, where we need to act out of like pure, complete, and whole, utter compassion. To know that it's safe to do so. And to know that if we focus on healing ourselves, focus on taking those timeouts and going within to really ask ourselves those questions, do the shadow work, just be at peace, find balance and peace in our day. How immensely that will help. The more we go toward the light, go toward our relationship with spirit and honoring that sacredness, filling up our own cup, those other situations are just going to resolve themselves in really miraculous and beautiful ways. Yes. This shit's crazy. Okay. So we got enter the Jade Temple. Pretty. Kuan Yin in her temple of peaceful jade causes all conflict to elevate to a higher, peaceful resolution. I mean, doesn't this look like a peaceful resolution? Like she's literally healing the world. It looks like she's got her hand on like Russia, the United States. Not going there. A resolution and healing of any situation that is concerning you is already underway. You are being asked to begin to feel the relief of that resolution now, so you can more readily melt into the divine solution and blessing of peace from beloved Kuan Yin. So interesting. We are putting a lot on us to try and control a situation and figure it out. And sorry, Marie Forleo. Everything's not figure-outable. Well, it is for spirit, but for us sometimes. I know that's not the point. She's fine. I'm just... then underneath that, I don't always take the ones underneath, but I am. The Divine Feminine encourages your awakening and empowerment. Your sincerity is evoking Kuan Yin's divine intervention. It makes sense to be open to receive it, to step forward and drink from the emerald fountain, which is the unconditionally loving heart chakra of Kuan Yin. Allow yourself to be nourished by the power and love of the Divine Mother flowing to you now. Your sincerity is evoking intervention. So again, like that relationship with spirit, like honoring that divine connection, honoring our bestie. First and foremost, so that our pack is full, our little power pack, and so that like our inner child is nice and warm and snuggled and feels safe, and we can put, we have our oxygen mask on before we can, reach out and help others. So it's a really significant time to take care of ourselves right now. And I love that those both came out. It's just amazing. Release toxic relationships. So this can be relationships that we're in that are no longer serving us. This can be friendships. This can be family members. This can be people at work. This can be just caring too much about, not my circus, not my monkeys. If you're in a work environment where people are just like really negative and like always talking drama, like check yourself out of it, like set some boundaries, bedazzle yourself in black obsidian or any black stone you can find. Jet, black obsidian, tourmaline, Apache tears. But release toxic relationships. So what doesn't serve us anymore, and I'm also getting the toxicity of, sometimes it's not even the relationship. Sometimes it's just about how we are, what we are bringing to the table in regard to that relationship. You know, for example, like just for example's sake, mother and daughter. Say I was like fighting with my mom or something. I wouldn't want to completely release my mom. You know, I don't feel like it's necessarily a toxic relationship, but it could be. But instead, to set boundaries, to step into my power, to empower myself, to use her as a teacher to me, to empower myself, and to release any toxicity between us, so that I can have either a healthy relationship with her or I don't even feel like that's a good example, but take it how it resonates for you, you guys. But I mean, I feel like you're just kind of gonna know like who that might be for you, or if it's like a friend group you've outgrown, or you'll know what that is for you. You'll know what is causing you pain. And sometimes there can be so much love, but if it's taking away your well-being, that's not a good thing, because your well-being, number one, always needs to be your priority. Always needs to be your priority in your connection with spirit. So it's a good call to examine what is toxic. Yeah, if death is an illusion, kind of tired, so it's hard to wrap my brain around death as an illusion. Let's see what else we've got here. Give without expectation. Okay. In the past, for some of us, we may have had, kind of like been operating, like I'm just kind of getting like, not boundaries, but almost like a thick, like a rhinoceros skin, like a tough exterior, due to our sensitivity, and that tough exterior has kept us from being open, from like allowing our hearts to open. So for some of us, giving without expectation, it's almost like a persona, like a suit that we've been wearing to protect ourselves. So there's never been like something real. It's always been toxic because yeah, regardless, like we're learning to equally give and receive. Give without expectation. Like, what does that mean for us? And it doesn't have to be like money. It can be like our time, our thoughts. It can be a card to somebody. It can be a phone call. It can be just something nice for a stranger. It can be a smile as you walk down the street. You never know who's having a bad day. Understand your body. Again, with the well-being. I feel like your body's speaking to you. And I feel like look at this well-being card. It's like a really magical spiritual connection. And I feel like we're being called back to that connection. Death is an illusion. I'm almost getting that for some of us, we've got some health stuff going on that is really freaking us out, scaring us into, an idea of death. I'm actually going to read that card, but I feel like, if I can find it, but for some of us, I feel like we might be a little nervous about death momentarily. I don't feel like that's definitely not for everybody. The death of the physical vessel exists. There is a beginning, a middle, and an end to every life form, whether it is measured in minutes, days, years, or decades. It is the nature of the molecules of this earthly plane to have an end date. The death of the conscious energy, or soul of the vessel, however, is an illusion. But because it can't be seen or measured, and because there are no instruments to detect it, many humans question the ability of consciousness to survive the death of the vessel. Just because the limitations of the brain aren't able to explain the intricate dance between the physical dimension and the spiritual dimensions doesn't negate its existence. Spirit uses the illusion of death as a tool, and it manifests itself as grief. This card is coming to you because you need assistance with feelings of loss. Humans and animals die, relationships and careers end, but the brave soul is one that turns the loss into a learning experience for not only its own benefit, but for the great benefit of others. That was the other thing. I'm like, there's something like death, endings, significant endings feel like death in our lives. I had a teacher once tell me that change feels like dying. And for some of us that don't get off on the concept of change, it can really feel impossible to put an end to something, to put an end to habits, mindsets, toxic relationships, all the things. And Spirit's saying, like, we just think it's hard. It's just like, it's how we're programmed to react to something. Like, yes, it's change is difficult, but the more that we step out in faith, the more comes to us, the more it's like, play with it as a different way than just, I have to end this thing and it's going to be so hard and I hate everything and like this is impossible and I can't do it. It's like, what if it's just like, what if you just do the hard thing and commit to yourself so gently and so tenderly, and don't make it as big as all of that. I don't know if this one came out or not. I was kind of like stuck in there weird. Be of service. So I feel like for whoever is watching, whoever this resonates for, that maybe, and I say this with all love and compassion, but maybe we've kind of been stuck on ourselves for a while. And I don't mean that like in like an egotistic, like you're an asshole sort of way. I mean that in like, it's really easy when we're not focused on anybody else or when we're disconnected from our connection with Spirit to solely think about ourselves. We all have narcissistic tendencies, so I'm not like calling anybody out as a narcissist by any means, but we do have those tendencies sometimes where, you know, when we're spinning and we're surviving and we are just trying to like make it in this world, all that we're really caring about are ourselves. And that's just humanity. That's just like being human. So I'm not like beating anybody up here, but I feel like we've kind of been wrapped up in a world and a way of being in a life that isn't serving us. And I feel like Spirit's like, record scratch, time to change that narrative. It's really time to like take care of ourselves and like honor the quiet and the peace of, you know, whatever this journey, this transformation is. It feels a little bit spiritual awakening-y, like a spiritual awakening-y to me. On the bottom of the deck, we've got forgive yourself. So forgive yourself for wasted time. Forgive yourself for not showing up better for yourself. Forgive yourself. Just forgive yourself. Have the compassion to forgive yourself. Go easy on me, baby. Sorry. I'm here, Spirit. But go easy on yourself. Interesting. Like I just wrote a letter like a few days ago to myself. I kind of had like not like a bad work day. I feel like every time I come here, I have a bad work day. What is that saying? Bad work day where somebody said something and I was just like, it made me feel unappreciated because they weren't seeing everything I was doing. You know, like micromanagers, but, and so I came home and there's a lot going on in my life right now. So like I'm way fragile, than usual. which I do not like to admit, and it's not typical, and I hate it. Um, so I came home and I wrote a letter to myself, like everything I wanted to hear. Like, hey girl, you know what? You are awesome. Like, you have such a big heart and you try so much and you give 120%. And I'm just like so goddamn proud of you. And Spirit loves you. And they're just like applauding up here. And I can, like, from my higher self to myself, like a pump up letter, like a thank you letter. So I highly recommend you doing that. When you feel like a failure, when you feel like you can't do it anymore, like when you just feel like the worst of humanity, you know, because we all have those days where it's just like, I'm never going to get this right. To write a letter to yourself, just honoring how far you've come. And it doesn't matter. Like, we are exactly where we need to be right now. You know, I'm like, you're wasting time, you know, but it's not about that. It's about loving ourselves enough to want more for ourselves, to make ourselves the priority, make our mental wellness a priority, our health a priority. That's number one. And I feel like sometimes it's just easy to like stay on the floor and like let the demons, you know, kick us and fight club us to death, when really all spirits, like, this is part of the journey of it all. This is part of the adventure of humanity, is to experience all of it. We are exactly where we need to be because we're learning so many things right now, and things that we don't always understand. So, right there with you. So much that we don't understand. And when we hear that, and I promise I'll keep going here in a second, but when we honor how far we've come, it just changes the energy. Like, to have written myself that, like, you know what, you're like awesome, and you have such a big heart and you're trying so hard, and Spirit sees it, and you're confused and there's so many things, but like, and you know, and to just like write down all the good stuff, because goddamn, I'm not perfect, but I am way the fuck sincere about trying real hard. So whatever that is for you, maybe write yourself a little letter, and you know, let your higher self remind you of how wonderful you are and how far you've come and how gentle you can be with yourself, and, you know, snuggle up with your pet, you know, if you've got one, or even a pet animal, like, or stuffed animal, that counts. Yeah, and honor all those feelings and emotions. All right, what else have we got? What else? What do I want to do next? Let's do the star seed. Spirit, what else? Go easy on me, baby. So wrong. I was just a child. Didn't get the chance to. What else you got? Actually, I hate that song. I feel like it's one of her most boring songs. I really like her other one, though. I know that it's wrong. I want to have. I cannot sing the tune of anything tonight. Okay. Trust the timing. Wasted time. Trust the timing. Trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. I'm going to post that on my Instagram. There's something about something like some people work for a company for 50 years and they retire nicely at 50. Some people blah, 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 blah. But it basically was like, there's no perfect path to get where you're going. Like, we all have a different path and we all have different timing. It's not too late. We're not too old. Anything like that. Earth school. Exactly what I was talking about. Life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. This is all just one big chance for us to experience humanity and to grow and to communicate better with spirit, to develop that relationship, which kind of triggers me because it reminds me of like my relationship with Jesus. Whatever that is for you, maybe for you it is your relationship with Jesus. Jesus and I are still working on some things. But for some of us, I also feel like this time out is a call to expand our knowledge, to know that we don't know everything. And even if we know that we don't know everything, it's like, what else can I learn? What else am I being called to learn? To really just kind of like crack open some books, listen to some YouTube videos, go to some seminars. There's so many ways that the spirit can communicate with us. Big picture thinking, Pleiades energy, visionary, inspired ideas. Yeah, so that wasted time, this is where spirit wants our energy. Visionary, inspired ideas. Okay, so there's a big thing here about kind of like focusing on, Colette Baron Reid in a lot of her books, or a lot of her like deck books will say that like when we're just like, life feels like we're at the end of our nose, or like we're looking at life like the tip of our nose, basically everything, we can't see farther than the end of our nose because life revolves around us. And there's kind of that, like, we've been in this spiral of like maybe even survival mode, maybe bad jobs, bad relationships, just like a bunch of shit where COVID the past 2 years, you know, like there's a lot that's been going on. And we've just kind of been living robotic lives a little bit and kind of checked out, and it's affected our health. It's affected like all the things. And Spirit is asking us here to really focus on the divine connection with our guides, our angels, Spirit, like whatever that is for you, because they have such purpose. I feel like I say this every video, but there's such purpose here. And that connection is so important. That time out, like dating Spirit, is so important, to go on those dates, to really take that time out to learn. Like the more we connect, the more we get back. And yeah, I feel like they have a lot of gifts, a lot of timing, a lot of stuff to bestow upon us, blessings, that ideas that like we need to have peace and balance in our lives. The most often I've ever been successful in my life is when I've been just completely balanced. I'm not right now. So I'm speaking to the choir, preaching to the me. But yeah, this is where, when we disconnect, there's a high school here that always has like these inspirational things, but they're always really good. It's like, be the echo, be the voice, not the echo. But right now it's disconnect to connect. Thank you, art in high school. I don't know. But that absolutely like just popped in my head for a reason. So disconnect to connect, to get those visionary ideas, to know how to move forward, to know how to do all the great things in life, to transform our lives. Because this is a huge transformation. This is spiritual awakening level shit. This is a deepening, you know, for those that have already gone through the spiritual, like there's lots in a lifetime. We don't just have to go through one. Okay. We get to keep transforming, and we get to go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And to just enjoy the ride. You know, there isn't a getting there until we're dead, I guess, but there isn't a getting there. It's a journey. Earthed on the bottom. Learn how to be human in the world, but not of it. Again, that divine connection. To not be so ethereal, you know, like, oh, I'm just living on a farm with all these people. Like, whatever, if you want to, go for it. But to balance the spirituality and practicality of life. To stay grounded, to have balance, take care of ourselves. So that when we are in balance and we are like meditating, we have some time for quiet, like Spirit can actually speak to us and give us those big visionary ideas. Pretty cool, my little fireflies. A little purpose. I love it. I love it. I don't want to do these ones, I don't think. I won't have this go on much longer because I feel pretty good. Let's do maybe a little guidance here. That's how I'm feeling. Spirit, anything else? Anything else? Guidance for my fireflies. Take inspired action. Full moon in Virgo. And the strong sense I'm getting here is that once this time out is taken, once we have that balance, and it doesn't have to take a lot of time. Like, you can spend tomorrow finding balance on your Sunday, if you see this in time. Taking that time for spirituality, for your mental health, your well-being, like all the good stuff. When you start to get those revelations and those illuminations, when you know the light bulb is kind of turned on, take inspired action. Full moon in Virgo. You might be a Virgo. Maybe Virgo season is important for you. But Virgos are very, very detail-oriented, perfectionists, really hard workers. They get the job done, and they look good doing it. But yeah, they're not procrastinators by any means. Any other guidance here? For some of us that don't have clarity on how to move forward, that spiritual conversation is going to mean a lot. Those timeouts, that meditation, that finding that balance will mean a lot during this time. Whoa. That's weird. Which one do you want? I'll just do them all, I guess. Believe in your good luck. First quarter moon in Sagittarius. What I'm hearing here is limited beliefs, our self-talk. Maybe we've kind of been down and out. Maybe we even feel like Spirit is like, doesn't have our back. Maybe it's like, well, I don't believe because you didn't show up these other 5 times, which I understand. Okay, have my moments. So, but we need to change that narrative. We need to get out of that, the heaviness, the numbness, the sadness, the depression, the anxiety of that feeling, and instead believe in our good luck, to pump ourselves up with affirmations, to pump ourselves up with, you know, writing down, you know, some journaling of affirmations and belief and walking around. Everything radically changes today. What's going to happen? Oh, I'm so excited. There's some miracle that's happening. Rather than like, nothing's ever going to change. I feel this energy of like, oh, and like, you guys don't have my back, and like, it's never going to change. So we need to shift those limited beliefs. Release your blocks. First quarter moon in Scorpio. For some of us, movement, yoga, again, that balance, anything that will feel good, feel healthy, inspired. and I'm getting a lot about movement, dance. If you have stagnant energy in your body, any kind of movement, even like this, you know, it just helps release trauma, stored up emotion, anything you can do to kind of move your body, tai chi, you know, but it doesn't have to be. It can just be like some kind of weird ass music and just move and get it out. And any like mindsets, to let those, try and release those as best we can. Find balance. Full moon in Libra. Find balance. It's only when we're in balance that we feel strong. When we are burning the candle at both ends and doing way too much, we feel like crap. We hate the world. We have very angry tendencies. We get bitter, resentful. We escape, we numb. And it's usually because of fatigue, because we're not in balance, we're not in alignment. We're just continuing to make the same choices to live through the day, to get to the end of the day, to live through the day, to get to the end of the day. But when we are in alignment and in balance, like when we have that, you know, balance of spirituality, health, play, and work, those are my top 4 on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, as best I can anyway, to find balance in my life for those things. When I'm in balance, that's when I feel that strength. It's like, oh, right, I have all this strength. I forgot because I was so goddamn tired the past 2 days. So I feel like it's really important. That balance is so important because we've forgotten our strength. We've forgotten how strong we are. And we are so strong because we've been through so much. We've been through so much. So yeah. Okay. Last thing on the bottom, new moon in Leo, shine. This one's been coming out like crazy. Shine. Not everything's illuminated. We don't have all the answers. It sucks. Believe me, I know. But we are not meant to hide. We are not meant to waste our lives. We are not meant to waste our time. We are meant to get into alignment because there is purpose. And when we are living purpose-driven lives, we are so happy and inspired, and things just kind of, once the ball starts rolling, it's like a snowball, you know? Snowballs of goodness. And then we get so elevated that when things happen, it's like, it's just a blip. It's not like the end of the world. Any timeline stuff here, Spirit? Any timeline stuff we got? You're ready. You're ready. But I'm tired. Find the balance because you're ready. And they're ready. But they're saying you're ready. Forgiveness. This one's been coming out a lot too. Forgive ourselves. Forgive others. Forgive ourselves. Forgive others. And it's a process. But even just doing like a little meditation or a letter to somebody, or you don't even have to send the letter, but just like writing somebody, or you know, if there are situations in your life that you have a hard time forgiving, I know one way that therapists have used is to rewrite that story in a way that you would have wanted to see the outcome, like physically write it out. To honor it, to kind of put the energy in your body rather than have the same story being told. And then on the bottom, ask for help from others. For some, I'm feeling therapy. If there's stuff that just feels overwhelming, I don't feel like it's necessarily like asking for advice from like friends or like pick a cards or anything like that. I feel like it is about that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to not have clarity. It's okay to let others help us with that clarity. But for some, I really feel like it's therapy. I feel like it's kind of talking some stuff out. It's especially with those limited beliefs and mindsets. You know, and where did those limited beliefs and mindsets come from? So take it how it resonates. But that came out as well. Okay, we're just going to do one last little nugget. I seek balance and grounding. Waning gibbous moon. I seek balance and grounding. I'm just going to shuffle them up here just so you don't think I'm lying. One last little nugget. I seek balance and grounding. Grounding, grounding. For some of us, even like laying on the floor, like laying on in the grass. I mean, I'm always nervous to do that here in North Carolina because there's ticks everywhere. But if you can lay in the grass and just kind of like make love to the earth, like go for it. Like ground that shit. Walk around barefoot outside. Go on some nature hikes. It came out again. Oh. Hey guys. I think that's it. I think that's the point. Balance and grounding. Connect with spirit. Okay. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for being here when I show up looking like a hag. But thank you so much. If anybody wants a personal reading, I am offering those right now. So the email will be below in the description box. But I'm wishing everybody a lot of rest, a lot of health, a lot of quiet. Just like a quiet, healthy, restful, peaceful, good sleep kind of spring. Okay? Love and light. Take care.